everybody. Thanks for your patience. Uh, yeah, I should have. Neil, I should have. Welcome back to the channel. Buddy, you can't go this far past here. So, sorry, I'm a little out of sorts. 2 under 2, this is what happens. So, this is a mixture of playtime. You can't come here, buddy, now. A mixture of playtime and showtime. My wife is happily laughing at me while she has our little daughter on her lap. My son is to my left because he's not quite tired yet. So we're playing trucks while I'm streaming with you. Yes, I'm sitting in front of the fake stairs before. I know this means that my back will of course just be hunched over as I'm coming up. So welcome back to the channel, everybody out there in YouTube land. Buddy, you can't look. He's trying to crane his head around to look at the camera. He's smiling at least, which is a little bit better from screaming this morning. So let me just catch up with the comments. Mr. LCS, how are you? Neil, Brian, it's freezing here this morning. I'm sure that you don't miss that. Just a little bit of a side note. But that's okay because we have good food. Jimmy G, how are you? Paul, I'd like to tell you something. If you're not following Psychedelic Comics on Instagram, Paul has had an amazing set of CGC unboxes recently. And yeah, some of those, I think he just put them up yesterday. I was like, ooh, those are all very nice. Well, Boar, of course. How are you, sir? I probably should have, buddy, go back. He's trying to look at himself, but not all the way there, I guess. Cody's here. Here you go. Fantastic Four indeed, yes. Robert Springs. Robert, I saw your comment on my video I put up yesterday. I just want to let you know I appreciate that. I haven't replied to any comments yet. It's been a week. So just to kind of catch you up with what's going on over here, I'm home. I've been on paternity leave, of course. Actually, technically, I'm still using my vacation time. We have one of those things that we have one of those deals where I should just let him. You can't really see all his face anyway, I guess. So this will just be fun for the replay. I'm lucky enough where I've accumulated a lot of PTO time, so I got to use PTO time before I got into my paternity leave. So I think my first day of paternity leave is officially Thursday, and I will be on leave until like the end of February. So a significant amount of time there, as my mom is trying to text me, forgetting that we stream. Do you have your phone here?
No.
Okay. I was going to ask if you could call her because she texted me earlier and I didn't reply because this guy was eating breakfast. Yes, he's quite literally lurking. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I have had like zero time for comics and maybe that much time for art this entire week. I think I started reading a comic and it was just, that's why. We went from zone coverage to man, as one of my friends put it, and they're winning right now. My daughter wakes up, I think, every 2 to 3 hours, so my wife has been mostly taking care of my daughter, of our daughter rather, and my little guy here, MT, the original, just gets a burst of energy from the moment he opens his eyes to the moment he finally just is like, all right, take me to bed. So naturally, when he's sleeping, we're knocked out. I'm knocked out on that end. Sorry, I dropped everybody, honey. So initially, sorry for dropping everybody. initially we had planned to do a parade of limited series and whatnot, and I didn't get any volunteers, and I had meant to grab those books out of my long boxes downstairs to show off, but again, zero time. So we'll go through our parade of spin-offs in a moment. I thought it'd be something fun to do, kind of like a Thanksgiving Day parade. Then me not realizing it is the weekend after Thanksgiving. It probably would have been better if I did it last weekend, but there we go. We'll get to that shortly. So again, no pickups this week. I actually have to call my LCS and make a payment, I guess you could say, or see if he wants me to make a payment at this point, and figure out when and or how to get my books, because again, hi. Let me see. We did watch, and I guess this kind of transitions well into videos we're expecting this week, because I actually shot a couple of videos. I'm not playing guitar. This is just a toy. Hey, Trev. This is just a total off the rails show today. Don't mind me. This is why we don't win awards, buddy. This is why we only have 315 subscribers, but that's okay, because we're here. Speaking of which, I still have to shoot my 1K subscriber video. Haven't done that yet, but I will be, of course, just as I said last week, adding a book to that box. If you don't know what I'm talking about, yes, you didn't need to say that out loud, honey, but thank you. Les Cruces, hello.
It's just funny.
Yeah. So as I said in my video last week, and watch last week's at this point, again, I'll do a video at some point explaining it. I'll be adding a comic a week into the giveaway box until we hit 1,000. And then as soon as we do that, whoever wins will win the box filled with comics. We already have a trade paperback and a single issue in there, so I'm going to throw another single issue in. I wouldn't say this is a banger. Adventure Time number 75. I got this in a mystery box. My son's looking at it. Okay. He doesn't know what it is. I'm not big into cartoons myself. I tried to watch this one, and I didn't quite get it, so I was like, okay, I'll get off here. But so Adventure Time number 75 will be going into the giveaway box. And again, as the weeks go by, this box will continue to grow. So even if you're, like me, not a big Adventure Time fan, chances are there will be something in there that you do like. What was I going to say? Yeah, so we did watch, I think the only comic-related thing we need to do. Been there, done that. None for me. I have no room for wigs, Neil. You missed it, honey. Neil had a pink wig on, Fanboy, this morning on his channel, because he was trying to look like Harley Quinn. He kind of looked like a Hot Topic, like the week after Black Friday on in the mid-2000s.
Wait, remember?
So I said, been there, done that.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, we watched Into the Spider-Verse. We will be talking about that shortly. We've just posted the unboxing. I have more stuff to unbox because, like I said, I haven't had a whole lot of pickups lately. I have been getting very lucky. Buddy. Matt, can I have that?
No, don't put it. No.
Buddy, can I have the truck? He put the truck on his sister's changing mat, so my wife is having a fit.
No, I'm not.
I have been having a lot of luck with short box lately. I don't know if I'll shoot another unboxing this week because we just posted the unboxing for my daughter's slab, which if you haven't seen that, go ahead and do that yesterday. But here we go. So the parade starts. Let's see here. What are you doing, buddy? parade of spinoffs. I thought it'd just be fun to do just a little bit of a kind of rough discussion on just some of our favorite limited series or spinoff series, with other people in the community that we've had over the past 2 years. Some of the ones that may be more memorable. Nobody really bit. Somebody commented Golden Palace, which I didn't even know existed. Apparently, that's a spinoff of Golden Girls, which I didn't even know existed. But so somebody contributed Golden Palace. Thank you to that person. I think it was Mike something, because I thought it was somebody I used to work with. You okay? What are you doing? Do you want to contribute, Matt? No. Okay. So right off the bat, I was going to pull out 2 X-Men limited series from my youth from the 90s. One of which I think there's been a lot of attention on, especially over most recent years. I was kind of shocked to see this one returning, or people just going crazy for it, and that was the first Gambit limited series. Yep, he's playing Peekaboo, and he takes our reusable bags, this one, and he likes to toss them back and forth. It's the only thing we let him toss right now in the house. I remember watching that. That's it. I don't remember any other details. I remember having it on. I think I saw maybe 2 or 3 episodes at most, but I also think that's all that may have aired. Let's see. But for my youth, the first Gambit limited series, beautifully done at the time, great story, and it tied into what was going on in the X-Men comics at the time. If you haven't seen it, without giving out any spoilers, because to be honest, I don't remember the whole story. It was, I remember, a confrontation between Gambit, the Thieves Guild, and his first wife, Belladonna. Hi, Evil. How are you? Yeah, we had a nice, quiet Thanksgiving. Something people don't really realize when you have a newborn is that you can't really bring them around a big group of people for at least 40 days. So 40 days takes us right before Christmas, and we might even extend it a little bit past Christmas, just because you don't know what somebody's may have. So we might be skipping Christmas gatherings as well, but we just had a quiet Thanksgiving at home. People understood, and if they didn't, they didn't. But it was fine. It was nice. I, to be honest with you, don't enjoy turkey, so that was a bonus for me. So again, the first Gambit limited series. I don't think I have to sell this one to you. You can get it in reprints. The originals are hard to come by. I think it was in a trade paperback at one point, but I could be wrong. The next X-Men limited series from the 90s, I remember really enjoying, and I promise you I will cap it at this as far as X-Men limited series goes, was the very first Bishop series. It came out, I was still in high school. I want to say maybe 96, 97. It was still, this is pre-Onslaught Bishop. So they still had kind of I want to say maybe an objective with the character. I personally feel like they haven't known what to do with Bishop since Onslaught. But it very much involved him on a chase across time between don't throw your trucks, between Bishop and Trevor Fitzroy, who is an escaped criminal from the future. And you also learn a little bit more, buddy, you also learn a little bit more about his sister Shard and how that worked. I'm still kind of unsure all these years later if that was a good idea to have Shard as a hologram, basically. But I remember really liking the series. It kind of reminded me a lot of the type of face-off type of movies that were popular around that time. The more action things like I remember thinking it reminded me of Virtuosity a lot, which if you haven't seen that movie, it's not particularly great. Um, Early Russell Crowe, pre definitely pre Gladiator. It's worth a watch. It's always kind of funny how if you watch these older movies now, how people thought the future would be. Yeah, he was cool in the '90s, and he is a good character when he's used effectively. I just kind of feel like they don't quite know what to do with him. Um, okay, so the next, because we're doing a parade theme, coming down the parade line now, we've got another float for limited series. This one is for the Batman limited series, Gates of Gotham. Oh, Evil's chiming in. Yes, Dr. Fraser Crane is a great spinoff. I would argue sometimes I liked it better than Cheers. I know I'm from that controversial camp. And I know that they just brought it back. I haven't watched any of that because Paramount is one of the few streaming channels that we don't subscribe to because there's nothing else there. Well played, Mr. Trev. Well played. Everybody wants to know about the three. Yay! High five. Good job. We're clapping. We're clapping. We're clapping. So, coming down the parade route next is Gates of Gotham, a Batman limited series, which was a great story. Had to delve deep within the history of Gotham. So you heard about a lot of different Batman kind of families that we're familiar with, like the Waynes, of course, the Cobblepots. I know there were a few more off the top of my head, but you also, to me, you kind of saw a very kind of early inkling. You didn't see them, but it alluded to it of the Court of Owls. And this, I should note, this was actually written by Scott Snyder before his Batman run. And I remember at that time stopping to look at who the writer was because I was like, this guy's just a great writer. I need to follow him. And now you can't go into a store without throwing a stick and hitting a series that he's written or a limited series he's worked on. But if you haven't checked it out yet, I do highly recommend Gates of Gotham. And let's see, I haven't seen if it's available on the DC app. I forgot what they're called, DC Infinity app. I do know it was collected at one point. Don't know if that's out of print now, but honestly, if you play your cards right and you're lucky enough, you could probably just find the whole series like in a dollar bin. Again, Gates of Gotham. Hey, buddy, Matthew, come here. Thank you. Truck. Next up, also from Scott Snyder. I read this around the same time. This was an Image comic, not a superhero comic. Another float, Scott Snyder float coming down the pike here. Yep, see, he's looking for it as well. Called Severed. Again, this is not a superhero story. This is, be warned, a very much of a crime-related story. You are dealing with, I want to say, a kid maybe like in the 20s or so, train hopping and comes across, yes, buddy, comes across a truly terrifying individual who continues to haunt him and his friends throughout the entire series and beyond. And beyond, that is. It is a Stop throwing your trucks. All right, no trucks. You haven't thrown them for like 2 weeks. Now today you start throwing them while we're live. No trucks. Yes. So again, it's just a 4-issue limited series put out by Image. I will say this: it is a little gruesome. It's definitely not for the faint of heart, but it was also written by Scott Snyder, and it's one that I feel I don't think a lot of people picked up before he really started getting bigger, and a lot of people don't. Excuse me. Nobody. No trucks right now. I told you. A lot of people just haven't picked up on it, but it truly is, I think, like a diamond in the rough. I think it was collected. You could probably find it on Comixology or something too, because it is an image book. But again, that is Severed. I will say this: the ending is a little bit. If you don't like open endings, you're not going to like this series. But I do recommend checking it out regardless. So let me going back into the chat. So people, more love for Frasier. Daria, I remember Daria. Honey, did you guys watch Daria back in the day?
No.
Okay. It was the that was good. It was a Beavis and Butthead spinoff, but it wasn't. It was like the antithesis, I would say, of Beavis and Butthead. Better Call Saul. I'll be honest with you. Never seen Breaking Bad. Never watched about Better Call Saul. I missed it, and at this point, I just don't want to delve into a six. What do you call it? 6-season series. King of the Hill. One of my very good friends actually was a huge King of the Hill fan, and I think he still does the voice pretty well. Happy Days. Happy Days was a spinoff? Yeah, okay. I forgot that. So I'm trying to think, were there any other limited comic book series I wanted to mention? Let's see. Well, this is a limited series, but I would, and I've spoken about this before, I would argue that I don't see it as a limited series only because there are 3 or 4 different volumes. Hey, buddy. And this was a Valiant comic that was printed about 10 years ago called Britannia. If you haven't heard me talk about it before, it's written by Peter Milligan. It is very much, hey, can you wait like 5 more minutes? It is very much steeped in, cup is here, hey buddy. Steeped in Roman history. Milligan did a lot of work just researching basically things going on at the time period. So you start when a Roman soldier is asked to go into Britannia by Emperor Nero, pre-crazy Emperor Nero. Exactly. Well, yeah, no, he moves around a lot. So I'm kind of, no. This is the giveaway, buddy. He was handing me, again, the giveaway to be added to the box. So we're going to put this out of his grasp. No, don't touch. Thank you. Hold on. Okay. No, you can't play with this. This isn't a toy for you. No. So Nero orders this Roman soldier to investigate. I think there was a mysterious disappearance or an attack on Roman settlement in Britannia, Britain, which is very well. Maybe it was in Germania, but it was very much still kind of like seen as a wild type of place. I know now. One of the Fates is abducted, and the soldier enters this tunnel filled with this poisonous gas. He manages to rescue the Fate, and as a reward, the Fate does something that she's not really supposed to do. She gives him the gift of foresight. Basically, she gives him Fate-like powers. So after a short illness, he uses these powers basically to form kind of like a super deduction ability. Honestly, each volume has been more enjoyable than the prior. The way I see it is he's kind of like a early version of Batman, like those type of deduction skills. And he's investigated throughout each volume either a occurrence or something to do around mythology. And yeah, it's usually tied into something easily explainable, whether it be, I think there was one with different kind of mercury poisoning. I know that there's one they talk about the Lost Eagle of Rome. Big kind of historical discussion in there. But I have to say, each installment has been more enjoyable than the last. I think I said that already. And that is a series that I think Valiant stated that they are interested in bringing back in their next publisher-wide kind of launch, which I think is coming next year. And I'll be there for it. You know, I haven't liked many Valiant books since the launch. I haven't heard of a few people. I've heard a few people who have. You know, there've been kind of glimpses of great things. Ninjak prior to Ninjak, I think the first 2 volumes were strong. Shadow Man. It's kind of unfortunate because I feel like once they get, excuse me, once they get some momentum going, they rebooted it completely. So we're kind of left in the end with, oh, okay, well, this was great, but it's done. Oh well. And that's all I have for you as far as my little parade of spinoffs goes. I know a lot of people contributing 1923, 1883, Angel, Xena, House of the Dragon. But yeah, I guess that's all I have for you today. A little post Thanksgiving hangover video, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word. Again, I'm going to be trying to reading some more books this week. I don't know if that's going to happen. You know, I think you could see why. I do have some artwork I still have to finish, and I do still have some of my insurance testing I have to wrap up this week. Yeah, to be honest with you, I think I checked out a couple issues of the first EXO, and I did enjoy it. The problem that I ran into with Valiant was my LCS had a different owner at the time who did not order things very, very well. So I'd be going in there and I would add Britannia, Ninjak to my pulls and Shadow Man. And I wouldn't get them. Oh, also Bloodshot had a great run, I have to say, during the new Valiant era. Okay, buddy, I'm hiding it. Don't worry. Don't grab my glasses. Okay, here you go. You can play with my hat. And I would go and there were items missing from my pulls, and I'd say to my LCS, "Hey, I didn't get these." And again, the old owner, who's no longer there, would be like, "Oh, well, nobody asked for them, so I didn't bother ordering." I'm like, I asked for them. So I wound up actually having to get a bunch through Midtown, I guess. Yeah, Trev, it was a bad owner. He's not around anymore. And it's been a lot better. Yeah, look, I'm not going to lie. There are hiccups. That's kind of sidelined me with my X-Men reading. But we're working that out, and I intend to, if, one of the reasons I'm going to call my LCS is if he hasn't gotten his next shipment yet is to see if I could fill in some holes with Midtown at this point. But that is what I have for you today. Again, like I said, we do have a couple videos filmed. We have our Spider-Verse review. I've got items to unbox. I do have a video that's a little bit more abstract. I've been thinking about putting up really about, I think, a toxic issue that I think is kind of nothing new. A lot of people have been talking about it. Okay, pal, just walk there. No, this is not your comic. You have a lot of comics downstairs you will inherit. This is not one of them. This is space saving. Yeah, so a toxic issue regarding really something that's been at the forefront of my mind since you hear a lot of this stuff regarding the Marvels. And I'll say this. I'm not going to tell anybody how to run their YouTube channel. I don't particularly run my own quite well, as you can see. But I think if you do have an opportunity where you're reaching out to an audience of people, you have, and I'm not naming names, you have an obligation to be honest with people. And to me, reporting a movie as a failure days before it comes out, when a very small circle of people have reviewed it, is dishonest. And some of the reactions, I think, are very toxic. And here we are over 3 weeks later, and you haven't updated your information to reflect, hey, this was rated much higher than it was. And look, I'm not talking about taste. I'm talking about honesty. And I'm talking about the fact that there's a way to say, I don't like something without saying, I don't like it, so it's terrible for everybody. I think that we've all kind of been there before. And that's kind of one of the great things about comics. Caught you that time, sorry. That's kind of one of the great things about comics as well, is that no matter what you're into, there's a place for you. There's a book you can read or something like that. But maybe be on the lookout for that. I'm kind of treading lightly with it because I don't want to start an overall he said, she said type of thing. But look, I've been rambling. I'm a little bit tired. Thanks, Robert. Yeah, this wasn't maybe one of the best streams, but we're here. I get to give you a bit of your day back. I hope that you guys had a great holiday. I hope that you're getting ready for, better things ahead, of course. And and that's part of what I'm saying, Evil. That being said, I got to get some rest and take care of this little guy. Peace, love, and comics. Take care.